Hello everyone. Today in this video we are going to learn about nutrition in plants. Plants are organisms that can synthesize its own food with the help of simple raw materials such as carbon dioxide and water, and the process is known as photosynthesis. The photosynthesis process involves the reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrate with the help of light energy. That is why the name photosynthesis. Photo means light, synthesis means to make. So the green plants are able to make food with the help of light, and this process is called photosynthesis. So today we are going to learn in detail about the process of photosynthesis, and such type of mode of nutrition is called autotrophs. Autotrophs. That's why the mode of nutrition in plant is also known as autotrophs or autotrophic mode of nutrition. So in this video now we are going to learn in detail about the process of photosynthesis. First, let me tell you the major events taking place in the process. The major events taking place in the process of photosynthesis are: number 1, trapping of sun's energy. Trapping of sun's energy. Number 2, conversion of solar energy. Conversion of solar energy into chemical energy. Chemical energy by splitting water molecules. By splitting water molecules. And number 3, reduction of carbon dioxide. Number 3, reduction of carbon dioxide into an organic substance. Into an organic substance called carbohydrate, or you can say glucose. Okay, so these are the major events. First of all, the trapping of the sun's energy. So these 3 are the major events that takes place in the process of photosynthesis. First, the light energy is trapped by the presence of chlorophyll. Okay, due to the presence of chlorophyll, the light energy is trapped, and secondly, the light energy or the solar energy is converted into chemical energy by splitting water molecules. And thirdly, reduction of carbohydrate into an organic substance or into an organic molecule called glucose. Okay, so these are the major events, and these major events can also be explained under 2 major steps. I am going to explain that major steps. This can be explained by 2 major steps. Step number 1, light reaction, and step number 2, dark reaction. Okay, so here the photosynthesis, as I said, can be explained also under these 2 following steps as light reaction and dark reaction. Okay, now we are going to understand this one by one. What does each of the step, what are the various events or various processes that are taking place in each of the steps. Step number 1, light reaction. So in this light reaction, it involves the trapping of solar energy. Okay, because the trapping of solar energy in order to break down the water molecules, right? So in this light reaction, the water molecule is split up by the action of light energy. Okay, by the action of light energy, the water molecule is broken down into hydrogen protons and electrons, and the oxygen molecule is released in the form of gas, right? So this is our first event that occurs in light reaction. So this is why the name itself, it suggests that it involves the activity of light, right? So first of all, the light energy or the solar energy is trapped due to the presence of chlorophyll. So here chlorophyll plays a very important role, and this chlorophyll is the unique characteristic or the particular or a very specific characteristic that is common only to plants. That is why only the plants can synthesize their own food, because of the presence of chlorophyll. And this chlorophyll is a colored substance, a pigmentous substance that can trap sun's energy. Okay, and because of this chlorophyll, the plants are green in color. Mostly the leaves are green in color because photosynthesis occurs in leaves. So as we have seen here, the water molecule is split into hydrogen protons, electrons and oxygen molecule. So this oxygen molecule is a byproduct, or it is a waste to the plants. So plant release it through the stomata during the process. So this is how the gaseous exchange occurs in plants through the stomata, that is taking in of carbon dioxide and leaving oxygen gas. So by the process called diffusion. So whenever a concentration gradient is reached, the oxygen and carbon dioxide molecule gets exchanged through the pores known as stomata. So this is our first step, that is the splitting or to break water or splitting of water molecule by the process called photolysis. Okay, by the process called photolysis. Photo means light, lysis means to break. So a water molecule is broken down into hydrogen protons, electrons and oxygen gas. So you may remember just a few minutes back I have written down the major events, wherein the second event was that is the conversion of solar energy to chemical energy. So here we can see that by the splitting of this water molecule, with the help of this light energy or the solar energy, or you can say a physical energy, is used to convert into a chemical energy. So these hydrogen protons and electrons further will be involved in production of energy rich compounds or energy rich chemical energy rich or compounds or energy rich compounds known as ATP or NADPH. Okay, so ATP here, ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate, right? And NADPH stands for nicotinamide dinucleotide phosphate, right? So these two compounds, ATP and NADPH, are synthesized by the use of hydrogen protons and electrons. And as I said, oxygen molecule is of no use to the plant, so it will be released or it will be removed through stomata in the form of gas. So these hydrogen protons and electrons will be utilized to synthesize a chemical compound or an energy rich compound called ATP and NADPH. So dear student, this is the first step of the process photosynthesis, that is light reaction, right? Now we will see what happens in dark reaction. Okay, So, as the name says, dark reaction, but it doesn't mean that it occurs only during the dark or during the night time or in dark places. Dark reaction doesn't mean that the reaction occurs in darkness, but in fact, dark reaction means that the reaction does not involve the activity of light, or it does not need light for the reaction. So, dark reaction is the major event of the process photosynthesis, because in this process or in this step, the carbon dioxide will be reduced into carbohydrate, or it will be reduced into an organic substance called the glucose, which will be stored in the form of starch in plants. Okay, now we shall see how it will work or how the reaction will occur. So the carbon dioxide, the major, the raw material or an inorganic substance, the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere will be taken up by the plant through the stomata in leaf. So this carbon dioxide, with the help of the chemical substance like the ATP and NADPH, it will be reduced to carbohydrate C6H12O6 plus H2O plus H2O. So this H2O or water is the byproduct, whereas the glucose is our main product. So in this case, this is what we were looking for. So the ultimate product of the process photosynthesis is the glucose. So in this reaction or the entire reaction of photosynthesis, we have two byproducts, that is hydrogen, and the other byproduct is oxygen, that occurs or that is produced in light reaction. So two byproducts are obtained during the process. One is oxygen during light reaction, and the other one, that is the water, during dark reaction. Now let us understand what is dark reaction actually. Dark reaction is a series of cyclic chemical reaction or changes that occurs in the leaf, and the carbon dioxide, which is a 1 carbon compound, is reduced into a 6 carbon compound, which is organic, right? So this is not just a single step. A series of cyclic reaction occurs in which the carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrate, and also with the production of water molecules. So this series of reaction is known as Calvin cycle, right? The series of cyclic reaction that occurs in the stroma or in the leaf is known as the Calvin cycle, right? And the process is also known as carboxylation, where carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrate. So this is about dark reaction. So you can understand that there is no use of light. Light is not directly involved here, rather the products of light reaction. But of course light is used in the process, but not in the dark reaction. Only the products of or the product of light reaction is used for dark reaction in order to reduce carbon dioxide into carbohydrate. So this is our this is about the mechanism of the process, that is photosynthesis. So the entire chemical reaction or the chemical equation of photosynthesis can be written as follows. The raw material, carbon dioxide, and the second, water, in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, gives, I will write down here, gives glucose C6H12O6 plus water plus oxygen molecule. So this is the product. Okay, so this is known as the product, and these two are the byproduct. So the product of photosynthesis is glucose, and the byproducts are water and oxygen molecule. But you can see our chemical reaction is not balanced. we know that whenever we write a chemical reaction, it should always be balanced. You can see here that carbon in left hand side or the in reactant side is only 1, whereas carbon in the right hand side or in the product it's only 6. So here it is 6 and here it is 1, so it's not balanced. So we have to balance it. You will learn the balancing of chemical equation in the subject chemistry also, but let us see here how can we balance it. First of all, let us see how many number of atoms are there in the left hand side and the right hand side. Left hand side we have the elements carbon, oxygen and hydrogen. On the other hand, in right side we have the same as carbon, oxygen and hydrogen. So before balancing, we have not balanced yet. Here the carbon is 1, oxygen is here 2, here 1, oxygen is 3 and hydrogen is 2. And here before balancing, carbon here it is 6 and hydrogen is 12, here 2, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and oxygen here it is 6 and here 6 plus 1, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's completely imbalanced. None of the elements are matching. So we will balance it one by one. Now let us see after balancing how can we do. So we should always start with the number which has the least, we should always start with the least number. So the least number here is the carbon, right? Carbon is only 1. So we will start balancing with the element carbon. So in carbon, if I put here 6, then it's also 6. And again then, the number of oxygen gets changed. Here it is 6 into 2, 12. And this is 12 plus 1, 13. Whereas oxygen this side, carbon is balanced because 6 and 6. But oxygen is again different. Oxygen here is 6 and here 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's not matching. So we can give another 6 to this oxygen this side. Okay, and let us also try to balance hydrogen also at the same time. Now we can check here oxygen how many, 6 into 2, 12, and here also 6, 18, and here 19, and here is 6 into 2, 12, and plus 1, 13. So it's not balanced. So we will try to balance oxygen and hydrogen. Now hydrogen, if we put 12 here, now it will be balanced. So how many number of hydrogen molecules here? 12 into 2, it is 24. Okay, it is 24. And oxygen now how much? Here oxygen, this 12 for this oxygen also. So it is 12. 12 plus 6 into 2, 12. 12 plus 12 is equal to 24. Now let us see the right side. Here oxygen is 6 here, and okay, here it's not balanced. We can put another 6 here. 6 plus 6, 12, and here 6 2s are 12. So 12 plus 12 is 24, and for hydrogen it's 12, and here also 6 into 2, 12. So 12 plus 12, 24. Now we can see this side, after balancing the equation, we have exact equal numbers in both left hand side and right hand side. So 6 here, 6 here, 24 in this side and 24 that side. And here also hydrogen also number of atoms 24, and here also number of atoms 24. So in this way we can balance a chemical equation. So whenever you give the reaction or the chemical equation for any reaction, you should always balance it. So this is how we have got a balanced chemical equation for the process photosynthesis. Right? Now, so this is about the process of photosynthesis which we have explained under the two major steps as light and dark reaction, and the equation is as follows. That is 6 molecules of carbon dioxide and 12 molecules of water gives 1 molecule of sugar, 6 molecule of water, and 6 molecule of oxygen gas. And this oxygen gas is released, and the water molecules also in the form of vapor, it is released from the, it is utilized by the plants. So this is what the process of photosynthesis is. Now in this regard, what are the possible questions that can be asked in the board exam, or maybe in any state board or any kind of exam, like the kind of questions that can be asked from this part, I would like to discuss on that, right? So a question can be asked. Suppose you can be given an equation. Okay, you can be given an equation of photosynthesis, and down to the equation you will be asked question like this question number 1, pertaining to the given, considering the given equation, like you can be asked question, suppose, okay, considering the given equation, write down the source of byproducts. Write down the source of byproducts. Say suppose this is for 2 marks question, okay, and secondly you can also be asked what happens in light reaction. What happens in light reaction? What happens in light reaction? Say this is for 1 marks. So in this way you can be asked question. Now to answer this question, first of all you should know what are called byproducts or what are called products, right? Suppose here, as I have written down the equation here, in the reactants are the carbon dioxide and water, and products is, the product is the glucose, and byproducts are the water and oxygen. It means the major products that is obtained during the reaction is known as product, and the other substances that are produced along with the product are called byproducts. So in this way, in this process, we have 2 byproducts, that is water and oxygen gas, right? So now we have to write down, or to answer this number 1, we have to write the source from where this water molecule has come, or from where this oxygen is released. So as earlier we have already discussed that how water molecules and the oxygen are obtained, right? Oxygen is the result of light reaction by the process called photolysis. During photolysis, water molecule is split into hydrogen, protons, electrons, and liberation of oxygen gas. So you will write your answer as oxygen. Answer number 1, byproducts. So you will write byproducts, or you can write source of byproducts. Number 1, water. The source of water is I'm extremely sorry. We will first discuss oxygen. So source of byproduct, oxygen, and this is the result of the process called photolysis. Okay, oxygen is obtained, photolysis, in bracket you can also write down light reaction. Okay, our second byproduct is water, and water is the result of dark reaction, or you can write the process as carboxylation. You can write, or you can also write as reduction of carbon dioxide. Reduction of carbon dioxide in a Kelvin cycle, or by Kelvin cycle, by a series of cyclic reaction called Kelvin cycle, right? So this will be the source. or simply in bracket you just write down dark reaction. Okay, in bracket you can simply write down dark reaction, the source of water molecule. So this water, during the process of reduction or carboxylation, along with glucose molecule, water molecule is also obtained. So this is how you can write your answer. And secondly, for number 2, what happens in light reaction? So as we have already mentioned, in light reaction, water molecule is split into chemical compounds or into hydrogen, protons and electrons, which is further used to synthesize energy rich compounds such as ATP and NADPH, right? So this is it. So this is about the process of photosynthesis, its various steps, and also we have its various steps or the events, and we also have discussed the mechanism involved in this process, right? So I end my discussion about the nutrition in plants with this video. Thank you so much.